Now that dual-lens smartphone cameras are basically the norm, manufacturers are trying to outdo each other by slapping even more lenses on the back of their handsets. You might think it's just some massive dick swinging contest, fair enough, but actually more lenses can make things easier for the photographer by offering ultra-wide angle or telephoto views of the world. Or, in YouTube speak, man, forget that 2 lens 3 is more than 2, so it's better. Truth bomb real review. Now both Huawei and LG have already pushed out handsets with a triple lens setup, and today we're taking a look at the Huawei Mate 20 Pro and the LG V40 to see how they stack up in terms of photo and video quality, and if those flexible lens setups actually make a difference. And don't forget, for more on the latest and greatest mobile tech, to hit subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers. So first up, a quick look at those specs. The Mate 20 Pro serves up a mighty 40 megapixel lens backed by a 20 megapixel ultra-wide angle lens. This gives you a 120 degree view so you can cram a majestic vista into a single shot. And that third lens is an 8 megapixel telephoto effort, offering up to a 3 times optical zoom or a 5 times hybrid zoom. That's basically a combo of optical and digital. As for the LG V40, the primary lens is just 12 megapixel, but that's still pretty sharp, certainly when you're capturing photos to look great on a telly. The second lens is again wide angle, this time with a 107 degree view of the world. And the third is a 12 megapixel telephoto lens offering a 2 times optical zoom. Now first up, although the Mate 20 Pro's primary sensor offers a much bigger megapixel count, the phone by default shoots at just 10 megapixels. You'll have to actually manually bump this up in the settings if you want that maximum MP level. You really don't need to, however, as the Mate 20 Pro and the LG V40 both shoot crisp detailed photos on those default settings. Even when you beam your pics up to a big screen, the results are top notch. Now with most of our test samples, you would really struggle to tell the difference between the Mate 20 Pro and the LG V40. The focus is sharp and on point, whether snapping a wide vista or an up-close subject macro style. Huawei's phone does tend to accentuate colours, at least with that AI mode active, to make colours bold and punchy, while the V40 produces more natural tones across the board. But even then, Huawei has thankfully really learned to calm down quite a lot when it comes to those vivid hues, so the results are still attractive. Tricky lighting is ably handled by both of these triple lens cameras too. The LG V40 again tends to capture a more natural photo, similar to what you'll see with the naked eye, while the Mate 20 Pro brightens up any high contrast shots. This means a bit more detail in those darker sections, although the lighter elements such as the sky in these test photos are slightly overblown as a result. No biggie though, the saturation levels certainly don't ruin the shot. Now the secondary lens on both of these smartphones allows you to grab a wide angle shot, which is particularly handy when trying to capture something absolutely bloody massive, like this castle for instance. Photo quality is the same as before, and even though the Mate 20 Pro's lens boasts a wider viewing angle on paper, I got identical results with both phones. The same amount of scenery was captured from the exact same spots. However, when it comes to that third lens, there is a clear difference in performance. The Mate 20 Pro can get closer to any subject with its 3 times optical zoom, while the 40 megapixel primary lens means surprisingly crisp results with a 5 times hybrid zoom too. In contrast, the LG V40 tops out at 2 times optical zoom, and if you pinch in closer, your shots won't come out too pretty. We are talking lots of grain and a serious lack of detail. Now, one area where smartphone cameras have really improved in recent times is low light photography. Huawei's Mate 20 Pro has a dedicated night mode which can capture brighter, crisper looking photos than the standard auto mode, thanks to its long exposure ability. The results are absolutely bloody lovely, and in a uniformly lit scene you'll instantly notice the sharper detail when comparing photos with the LG V40. That said, the V40's super bright camera feature does a marvellous job at night, helped along significantly by the primary lens's f1.5 aperture. In fact, when you're shooting a low light scene with some really bright elements like these shop signs here, LG's phone does a better job with exposure compared with Huawei's, which tends to overexpose those brighter bits on occasion. Of course, you get a selection of other bonus modes with both of these blowers as well, which would take forever and a day to go through. But one of the most popular efforts these days is the portrait shot. As both the Mate 20 Pro and the V40 sport multiple lenses, you can get an accurate depth perception with either handset, so your subject will stay nice and sharp while the background is blurred effectively. We still personally prefer the bokeh effect from Huawei's phone, but either definitely does the job. And you also get full Pro controls on both mobiles too, aimed at keen photographers who know their way around ISO levels and shutter speeds and all of that gumph. That said, the LG V40's Pro mode boasts the excellent graphy feature, which offers a selection of presets and can dish out advice to get a better shot, definitely an ideal way for anyone who wants to experiment and really learn about the different settings. When it comes time to shoot some home movies, both of these blowers can shoot full HD footage at either 30 or 60 frames per second and also jump up to 4K levels at 30 FPS. And in the case of the LG V40, you can even shoot Ultra HD at 60 frames per second if you don't mind killing your phone's storage. The Mate 20 Pro only seems to offer the telephoto lens at 30 FPS levels, although the ultra wide angle is available on all settings. In comparison, the LG V40 basically ditches both of the additional lenses once you jump up past 30 FPS. Still, the video results are great on both handsets, which again can handle tricky lighting and other obstacles with ease. Our test movies look sharp and attractive when viewed back on a telly, especially at that 4K level, and image stabilization is very good even at that top level too. Ultra HD clip shot with the Mate 20 Pro still do occasionally show some tearing and jankiness at the very far left and right edges when you're moving around. That's a real shame, and it's an issue that you don't get with the V40. And when it comes to low light, both blowers do an equally solid job. You'll get grainy looking footage of course, but the focus copes well and colours are surprisingly rich. So that right there is the photo and video quality you can expect from the triple lens setups on the LG V40 and the Huawei Mate 20 Pro. As you can see, 3 lenses are actually pretty handy, especially when you want to shoot a lot more than just your mate Dave puking on his trainers after a Friday night kebab. If you do a lot of travelling, want to get some really nice looking touristy shots, things like that, then definitely either will do the job. Don't forget to poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech. Cheers everyone, love you!